Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman, and our next guest, Larry Gulko, founder of Brand New Day. Welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs, Larry.
Great to be here. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure having not only entrepreneurs, and you're a serial entrepreneur, having founded multiple companies, but industry icons. You're a brand leader, a brand strategist. Why don't you tell our audience, first of all, a little bit about Brand New Day and what it is that you're doing?
Yeah, brand new day. Well, as you know, just to take back a few seconds, for 20 years, I had a brand consultancy in Boston for 20 years, and then I created Brand New Day when I closed that business up to a friend of mine. And Brand New Day is a program I developed initially in conjunction or in tandem with the Disney Institute down in Florida, which is Disney World's exec education arm. And I always tell people in branding, don't try to be the best, be the only. And I'm an only. Nobody's created a one-day brand building thought leadership retreat for our company's leadership team like I've done. And we've been doing it for now over 10 years. And again, it's one of a kind. People only invest one day into it. And it's amazing. The ideas that we're tweaking and honing in on at 2 in the afternoon, Jonathan, are not even on the radar screen at 9 in the morning. It's a journey. And I've been doing them with small startups from Mass Challenge, middle market companies, divisions of Johnson Johnson. I just finished one a while ago, NBC 10. So it doesn't really matter the size of the company. It's really more of the leadership team. They're really determined to take their brand next level. What I mean by that is they want to drive brand performance, drive customer loyalty, and revenue growth. And so Brand New Day is a one of a kind. It's a one-day program. And from there, as I mentioned earlier, 3 to 5 initiatives are created that weren't on the table at 9 in the morning, and the company then has a new vision. And part of the Brand New Day program is like I have a title called Write the Book You Want to Read. I first give a keynote. Write the book you want to read is 3 years from now, 2 years from now. What is your business story? Because a great brand is not the result of a great marketing campaign. It's the result of building a great business story. So what chapters have to be written still in order to really you be proud of your brand and dominate a category and be an aspirational brand that people love and respect?
So you talked about it a little bit earlier. You said it really applies to anybody, companies that have been around for a long time, startups, etc.
Right.
Is it about deconstructing the existing brand and telling that story, or is it potentially a launch of a new creative idea around the brand story? But it sounds like it's the essence of it is really capturing what is your brand about? What is it that you want your brand to be? What is it that makes your brand unique, I would imagine.
Exactly. What we do is we take a fresh look, a deep dive in the brand, and I tell them, take all your preconceived notions of branding and leave them out in the parking lot. So, for example, the first question I ask them is, what are you really selling? Like, for example, Harley Davidson is not selling motorcycles. They make motorcycles. They're selling freedom. And Boston Children's
They're
Hospital,
selling cool.
they're selling cool. Yep. Exact exuberation, being in the outdoor. I mean, I'm not a biker, but I can't imagine like just going up
Right.
on
The wind in your
95 or
face,
going
the
through Maine or
feel.
whatever and just
Right.
letting it all out, right?
Along
Um,
with a little noise and everybody looking over.
exactly. But so the thing about brand voice and what he's selling, it's a really, really deep dive thought about what are you really selling. Like I'll give another example. Children's
So it's
Hospital.
it's not the explanation of the product or service. It's the emotion.
It's the emotion, it's the emotional connection. Many brands today lack an emotional connection. Many brands today don't even have a focus or lose their focus. But let me get so one step further. Boston's Children's Hospital in Boston, 15 years, #1 pediatric hospital in the world. They're not selling Harvard Medical School. They're not selling Nobel Prize teaching. They're not selling, brilliant doctors. They're selling hope. They're in the hope business. So we do that. That's we do a deep dive. So the obvious is not what you're selling. So if you don't know what you're really truly selling that emotionally connects with your customer or the audiences you're talking to, you're never going to be the leading brand in that category. So you have to really take a real, soul search. What are we really selling? Not what are we making? What are we selling? It's just like with you.
Does it?
It's just like with radio entrepreneurs. You're not just a radio show. What are you really selling that emotionally
Right.
connects? That enables you and your team and Jeff to be successful for decades. It's not just being
Right. Right.
because
It's
there are
that
many
connection
people.
to entrepreneurs. It's having entrepreneurs tell their story, come on and share with the wider audience their
Right.
path and their message and their story. Let me ask you this, Larry. We know that people, and you must be tying into this concept. We know that people make many of their buying decisions based on emotion. And is that what the brand, the essence of brand, bringing out that emotional connection to people? Because at the end of the day, the product and service, there's many products and service that provide, similar experiences. But really, that brand leader is about elevating that experience in some capacity and really driving home sort of that emotional connection to the brand.
It is. If you have to stay fresh and relevant, you have to be the brand in the category to the consumer. Okay. For example, like when you go to the supermarket, I happen to just buy Skippy peanut butter, right? For years. And I buy Smucker's jam, jelly for years. I don't look at prices. For milk, I do. For eggs, I look at prices. But different categories, if you have a brand that you're loyal to and you feel there's no other brand like yours in the category that you're living in, prices are relevant. So I tell clients all the times, nobody needs your product. Like no one needs radio entrepreneurs. People want your
They make that
product.
choice. Yeah.
You want. When you're a want, like nobody needs a Rolex watch for $8,000. But if you want it, you'll find the money and you'll get it. So I always tell people, forget about consumer needs, become a want. Why does somebody want you? And when they want you, whether it's a car, whether it's a vacation trip, whether it's a cruise, whether it's an apartment, or a condo, whatever it is, if you want something that bad and you have a connection to it and you can relate to it and it's relevant, you'll find the money. Money should not be the object at all when a client or customer has a brand that people truly want and genuinely love, and they feel they can't live without that brand.
So in a world of bombarding by media of all types, is it not such that the brand with the most effective messaging, if you will, or the highest number of imprints, et cetera, tends to come through, or is it, I think your premise would be, and I'm maybe setting up with this question, would be no, it's that one that creates a connection that will break through because of the loyalty, because of the longevity, because of that emotional connection.
You have to break through the marketing clutter. And I tell people all the time, even in my keynotes, if you want to drive market share, you have to capture mind share. Marketing is psychology, branding is psychology. It's all about the mind. The longest distance between a customer and a brand is between this ear and that ear. So what are you doing as a brand to really engage and be the first in the mind in that category? So when you think, I don't care if it's a laptop computer or a cell phone or gas or whatever, what brand is your brand or a salon? My wife used to go to a salon 40 miles from where we lived, but she went what once every 3 months, but that was her brand. She felt they're her people and that's it. And right now I'm down in Florida and she goes to a salon 40 minutes away from here because she connects with the salon. So again, when you connect with it, money, time is irrelevant because you live like that. Like the best test of brand loyalty. Let's say, for example, you go to a supermarket and you have 50 linear feet of cereal, and your cereal is empty. That slot is empty, right, Jonathan? It's empty. So do you A, wait for it to be replenished? B, go to another store and get it, or C, accept an alternative brand. If you go C, accept an alternative brand, and you love that brand that you went for could be bye-bye because now you have a new affinity. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real true test of brand loyalty of what will you do to make sure you have your brand.
Are we living in a time where there is greater brand loyalty or less brand loyalty? It seems that the whole world is upside down to some degree. So, it's fascinating because it seems to
Oh,
me that what's hot one day is not so hot the next day, and a lot of it is driven perhaps by social media, by presence, by celebrity, all of that good stuff. But I think in some respects, if we all grew up with those brands, you touched on the peanut butter and jam and things like that, were household items back then when the store shelves weren't cramped with 75 types of jams. You had one or two options. And so are we losing that with the current generation because there is such a proliferation of options, if you will?
yes, we are losing it, but also the more you specialize, you win, generalists flounder. Like J.C. Penney's is going bankrupt for a reason. Macy's is going bankrupt for a reason. Okay, because they're generalists, specialists win. And today more than ever before, millennials are buying brands that they can relate to the value of that brand. So if you, for example, if you're into ecology, global warming, whatever, and you know a certain brand aligns with your thinking, was important to you, you'll buy that brand regardless of price. Now, I personally buy a lot of Newman's Own products. Is it the best popcorn in the world? I don't know. Best salad dressing, best pizza? I don't know. It tastes good, whatever. But they have donated over $1.2 billion to children's charity, sadly for children who have cancer. My children, thank God, are healthy. And so to me, when I buy that Newman's Own, I don't look at the price because I know that a portion of my money, a big portion, is going to help families and children with cancer. So therefore, I can relate to it. So the more a brand can relate their story on their purpose-driven brand, I always tell people also, if you have no purpose, you'll have no profits. Today's day and age, and you hit on it, especially with millennials, they buy brands, they want to work for brands that they can relate to with their own value system.
Absolutely. At the core, it's the most firm, if you will, connection
Yeah.
between that value set and what the brand supports. So,
You really have
um,
to be a good brand citizen today and not just do a PR stint for 4 months, but culturally, what are you doing besides selling product that you're helping with the community? Are you helping with the homeless? Are you helping with the Red Cross or doing something that's really near and dear to your culture, your DNA? And all your employees are what I call brand ambassadors. They're living and breathing your brand and they believe in the purpose of the brand besides the product you're selling for revenue.
sounds fantastic. Larry, if people want to connect with you, if companies want to connect with you, find out about Brand New Day, how to engage with you, how to take on a session and immerse themselves deep into their brands, what's the
Thank you.
best way for them to reach out to you?
A couple of ways. I'll give you 3 ways. First of all, my email is larry@larrygulko.com, and that's Gulko. And my website is brandnewdayretreat.com. And if I want to call my cell phone, I'm fine too. 781-710-2121.
Put
But
it out there. Put it all out there. A guy who
why
lives
not?
behind what he's doing every day, always willing to
Yeah,
engage and talk about it.
yeah, the only place you won't see my information is I'm right now in Boca Raton. You won't see it carved out in the sand on the beach.
Uh, Well, maybe that's coming, the Larry Gulko brand on the beach.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's talk branding on the beach. You know what I
There you
think?
go.
Could be an
Bring them to the
idea.
setting.
I
Larry
say honestly,
Gulko,
also I want
founder.
to say one other thing. Also, water is very therapeutic for idea generation. And why not do a retreat on the beach for 8 hours by the water? I love that. Really,
Fantastic.
you never know where ideas
Comfort
come
gets the
from.
mind going. Fantastic. Larry Gulko, founder of Brand New Day, has been our guest on Radio Entrepreneurs. It's been a pleasure having you on, and we look forward to engaging and hearing all the great stuff you're doing in the future.
Thank you. A pleasure to be your guest. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
And we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.